When The Rock hit rock bottom, he used these Stoic principles in order to rise to the top. Today, we share how he did it by explaining his Stoic secrets to daily self-focus. Stay tuned until the end because the last tip just might give you enough credit to insert The Rock between your first and last name too. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson had a childhood that you wouldn't envy. One day, his family woke up to an eviction notice on their door. He was only 14. You can only imagine the tension felt in his household. His family moved out of the house, and his parents were forced to take odd jobs to make ends meet.
It was the final eviction notice. My mom started crying. I felt like, I never want to be in this position again. What can I do?
The Rock watched his father move from providing his needs to being broke, living in a scarcity mindset. It was far from enjoyable, and seeing his parents suffer to give him a better life shook him to the core. This was a very Stoic moment in The Rock's life, because he decided never to put his family in this situation again. Well, this goal didn't happen overnight, because as everyone knows, life happens. But here's the thing, the present Dwayne Johnson never forgets about his past. He seizes every opportunity to speak about his failures. You see, one of the core beliefs of Stoicism is to focus on what you can control and let go of those you can't. You cannot control your past. However, lessons from the past can shape your future. Learning to untangle yourself from the past brings peace and freedom to live in the present. Recalling the past allows Dwayne to go into big moments with a humble perspective. When faced with a challenging movie, he recalls his rock bottom moment that forced him to move back in with his parents, which we will talk about next. Would he want a repeat of that? Certainly not. This motivates him to put his best foot forward in every project, which is one Stoic secret to his daily self-focus. But this next Stoic secret he uses comes from the low point in his life that forced him to move back in with his parents. When Dwayne Johnson clocked 22, his dreams of playing for the NFL shattered before his eyes. At this moment in our story, it's important to understand, what do the Stoics say? They say that when life hits hard, you can hit back harder. The Stoics are masters at hitting back. You already know your present situation and how frustrating it is. Rather than grumble about it, why don't you exploit it? This frame of mind changes everything. It makes you go on offense instead of playing defense. Now your goal is not to avoid the downside, but to find ways to benefit from it. This thought begs the question, how do I exploit my fate? The Rock has an answer. It all began at Freedom High School in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, when his skills earned him a spot on the football field. Dwayne played football with so much intensity and focus because it gave him a purpose. When he moved to the University of Miami, he wasted no time to join the school's football team. He was resilient and determined because he knew football was his way out of poverty. But it turned out his emotional pain was just as much as his physical pain, as he sustained a complete shoulder separation that required total reconstruction. A torn Achilles and 5 separate knee surgeries within only a few short years of college football. Dwayne couldn't bounce back from all the injuries, which blew his dream of playing in the NFL up into smoke. Out of frustration, he returned to his parents' house in Tampa. Worse still, he opened his wallet and found only $7 inside. Yes, you heard right. What could he possibly do with $7? It's safe to say that The Rock himself had hit rock bottom. At that moment, he had only 2 choices: give up everything or create the life he wanted from this mess. Well, he decided he would do everything he could to change his life. Instead of turning to crime like he did as a teenager, he trained harder than ever. He talked to his father, Rocky Johnson, about being a wrestler and pleaded with him to teach him how to wrestle. So you know, The Rock comes from a family of WWE Hall of Famers. His father was a professional wrestler with several titles under his belt. His grandfather, too, was a professional wrestler in the 70s. Rocky Johnson finally agreed to take him on intensive gym sessions. Then, one day, legendary WWE announcer Jim Ross visited The Rock. He was instantly convinced that the young man had what it takes to succeed in this industry. Jim Ross immediately spoke to WWE Chairman Vince McMahon about signing The Rock. After a few rejections from spectators, he evolved and won them over by late 1998. By the end of the millennium, he was as popular as Stone Cold Steve Austin. From there, his looks and charisma attracted Hollywood. He bagged his first big role in The Scorpion King. Another way he makes sure he never forgets his past is when he named his production company $7. So every time he creates original content for television, film, digital networks, and emerging platforms, he gets a dose of humble pie. You see, there are two kinds of people: those who fight to win and those who give excuses so they can settle for less. Where would you rather be? The Rock picked the right side by focusing every day on what matters most. But the next Stoic secret for daily self-focus came from a painful highlight in his wrestling career. On April 7, 2013, The Rock was set to fight with John Cena at WrestleMania 29. The match was so intense that he suffered a major abdomen and abductor injury. Hours later, he tweeted, "In the middle of last night's WrestleMania match, I tore my abdomen and abductor muscles off the bone. Just part of the job." But as we know, it's about #JustBringIt. WWE Universe, thank you for all the love and well wishes. Means everything to me. The injury was brutal, but what stood out for many was that he finished the match. This was a testament to his strength and his unbelievable tolerance for pain. He didn't give up during the match with John Cena because he sees an opportunity in everything. In this case, the world was watching him, and he must give it his all. His motivation was the fans cheering him to victory. Although Cena defeated him to clinch the title, it was a worthy run. The two finished with a handshake and a hug in front of the 80,000 fans watching live. To have daily self-focus, you have to have a strong motivation factor. Have you experienced a specific moment to motivate you enough to stay committed to your goal? Like The Rock, you can achieve anything if you follow this Stoic template to daily self-focus. Stoicism is based on self-control, endurance, and self-discipline. It's about improving daily and not stopping until you accomplish that goal. The Rock stays committed to his goals all the time. When asked why, he said, "When it comes to hard work and things I'm passionate about, years ago, I stopped saying I have to and started saying I get to." He wakes up at 4 a.m. while his rivals struggle to get up at 6. Also, he works 17 hours daily, but still feels more should be done. This level of commitment brings us to the Stoic principle of purposeful action. Stoics advise that you don't react to your circumstances, but live intentionally. With so many options available, people never commit to a path. They either pursue multiple activities at once or put off making a decision. The result is that they never make headway. The Rock may not be a trained actor, but he has an impressive screen presence. His booming voice and personality are charismatic. You can tell that he committed ample time to work on those areas. Commit quality time to working on your strengths because it gives you an advantage. Does The Rock inspire you enough to apply his Stoic principles? Wait till you hear about Keanu Reeves' Stoic ability to embrace mental resilience. His story is so heroic you won't believe how he overcame rock bottom unless you watch this video yourself. Click now to see how he used Stoicism to become one of the most successful icons in Hollywood when the odds were heavily against him.